This is one of a series of camera visits to preschool programs specially conceived to meet the needs of disadvantaged children. On this May morning in California, we're in a kindergarten room of one of the Los Nietos district schools, a dozen miles east of the heart of Los Angeles. We're in a predominantly Mexican-American neighborhood. For 2 successive summers, this school district has anticipated what is now a national program by running a special summer preschool for the children in this district who needed it most. Last year, this project and other California pilot plans received support under the McAteer Compensatory Education Act. I'm talking this morning to a chief architect of this program, Mrs. Martha Hittinger, Director of Curriculum. I'm L.J. Stone from Vassar College. Before we really start, Mrs. Hittinger, we want to thank you and Mrs. Maurice Telley, the principal of the school, and Dr. Keith Walton, the district superintendent, for making this visit possible. And to congratulate all of you and Mrs. Duarte, the teacher we're visiting, on pioneering. For this is, as you know, one of the few places in the country we can go to find out how such an intensive summer program has worked and how it has seemed to work out. Perhaps you'd begin, Mrs. Hittinger, by telling us more about just what we're watching right now.
We're watching now a regular kindergarten program. However, the difference is that these children began in July of 1964 and had a 5-week summer school pre-kindergarten session, continuing with the same teacher in September and up to the present time.
So that we're seeing the regular program, but we're going to talk a lot, you and I, about last summer's program and its after effects. Do you feel that it's essential that children go on as these children have in the same room and with the same equipment and the same teacher?
Well, it isn't essential. However, it's very helpful. In this way, the teacher learns the children and is more effective in working over a longer period of time with the parents.
Tell me about the teacher we're seeing, about Mrs. Duarte.
Mrs. Duarte was chosen to work with these youngsters because she has been a kindergarten teacher in this district and in this school for a number of years. Her facility with Spanish, Mrs. Duarte comes from Guatemala, is extremely helpful in working with Spanish-speaking parents in the district. Her facility with both languages is very helpful with working with children who are monolingual. And
I should think, too, that as many of these children have somehow acquired the notion that it isn't very respectable to teach Spanish, to speak Spanish, to have a teacher who talks Spanish is somehow reassuring and dignifying.
This has been extremely true.
I guess we should know a little more about these children and what sorts of backgrounds they represent.
We have long been concerned over the lack of the achievement of youngsters in the middle and upper grades in our district. We know that they have few experiences in the home background that relate to the expectations of our schools. We have been interested in building experiences and attempted this in this pre-kindergarten program.
These children then are from an economically severely deprived segment of this neighborhood, this area?
They are certainly their families, many of them are out of the mainstream of the American society. They are deprived through lack of enough. They have not had experiences that are helpful in preparing them for school activities and school expectations. Many of the children have not been far from their own neighborhood. They are not aware of the things that are in their own neighborhood.
so that economically they're very submerged, and for that reason they've been missing out on the world.
Yes.
I gather from our little visit around the neighborhood yesterday that some of these children come from families of 10 to 15 from very low income areas, and that in many of these families there's already an established pattern of school failure and difficulty.
Yes, many of these youngsters have older brothers and sisters who have had low academic achievement continuously throughout their school career. And from the onset of this program, we have worked with parents, bringing them into the school, making them feel more comfortable.
That's very interesting to me. I'd like to hear how you did that, and I also wonder whether at the outset you faced suspicion or open welcome when you went to these families.
Originally, when we began this class, we made personal contacts. The school psychologist, the principal, and myself made many home calls.
You didn't send out notices and say, here's a program,
No.
come and get it.
We didn't send any notices. And we did ask the parents on a personal contact if they would like to have their children enter in this special program. Sometimes we needed to go back 3 and 4 times and talk again with the parents, encouraging them to participate.
And have you managed to keep this close relationship that began at this, shall we call it, a recruiting time?
Yes, this relationship has really been continued through the principal, the school nurse, the psychologist, and the teacher particularly. Through many contacts, the teacher invited the parents to come to the school and watch their children at work. This was not as successful in the beginning stages because the fear of the school was very evident, the lack of knowing what was expected. So
They didn't really know what to watch for,
No.
I suppose.
No. So then, after this evident
Fiasco?
yes, that's right. Mrs. Duarte instituted single conferences with parents. Mrs. Duarte had one mother come in at a time. She gave them an idea what to watch for while observing the children, then talked with them after about what they had seen and made suggestions and answered questions about things that the parent could do at home.
Do you feel then that this program, we haven't heard yet how it affects the children, and I'm going to skip that for a minute. Do you feel it's affecting the parents in some way?
Yes, it certainly is. I might give one illustration here of a trip to the Los Angeles Zoo. This was a very interesting trip for the children, and many parents were invited to accompany the children. Then many families return to the zoo as a family. This is something that is uncommon. This was opening a new door.
Tell us a little bit about the kinds of activities that are going on. It seems to me they must have some organizing theme, because things seem to me to fit together here.
Yes, at the present time, these youngsters are really studying about the farm, and we have a dairy in the local neighborhood. Many of these children walk by the dairy on their way to school, but yet they didn't know where the milk that they drink comes from. So the class has visited the dairy several times, and now they are studying about a larger farm. They have, you notice, they have some horses in the corral, and the cows are in the foreground. The freeway, which goes through the district, is the construction around the outside of the farm.
I notice the little groups that are busy are allowed to converse freely. This is different from many kindergartens in public schools.
Yes, it is. This is the need for communicative skills is very evident. These children are limited in language development, and this has been one of the major purposes of the program and one of the major purposes of Mrs. Duarte's entire program.
So you welcome speech, you welcome conversation, you welcome real talk about real interests.
Yes. And in order to talk, children must have some concrete experience to talk about.
Well, we all have to have something to talk about if we're to talk. Tell me a little bit about just what things were like at the outset when you began in July. How many children came to do what?
Well, 30 children arrived to have the pre-kindergarten experience. During the 5 weeks period, 7 dropped out, and 23 continued for the entire term.
Was Mrs. Duarte working all by herself with 30 children?
Well, officially, she was working all by herself. However, our district we all work together very closely. The superintendent, the principal, the director of guidance, myself, and anyone else who happens by becomes a part of this group.
So that you had some very high-powered professional volunteers.
Yes, and we work very closely with the Los Angeles County Superintendent of Schools office. Their consultants feel as at home in this classroom as in their own office.
Did the children begin with the kind of freedom and free-swinging activity we've been seeing here?
No, they certainly did not. These children were very docile, very fearful when they first came. Many of them clung to their mother's skirts, and there was considerable crying and evident fear. They were not sure of what to expect, nor what was expected of them. The acceptance that the teacher shows is very important at this time. Many of these children needed to be taught how to ride a tricycle. Many of them were not sure that they could play with the playhouse, with the things in the playhouse. All of this equipment is not common in their background. The dolls were very important. Many of these youngsters haven't had a doll, although some of them have and are well aware of this kind of plaything. We took many trips, many just walking trips to observe around the things around the schoolyard. We took many trips to the market, the city hall, the library, the airport, the freeways. The terms are not common. The naming and labeling of the things about them are not within the vocabulary of these youngsters when they come to school.
You can hear and see their vocabularies growing almost day by day. What would you say if someone asked you now what difference a brief but intensive program like this can make? Does a summer program do something significant?
Yes, it certainly does. We're well aware of this. We wish that we could have had a longer program, but we're looking forward to Head Start with 8 weeks.
I understand that you had some actual research going on. Are you ready to comment on what that found, or do you just want to give us your impressions?
Well, we have some as yet unpublished objective data that we feel quite sure that with the tests that we have used, there is marked rise in intelligence.
This group showed gains which other children who didn't have the program failed to show.
Yes.
And when you have larger numbers, you'll feel more confident about it, of course, as a research finding. On the impressionistic level, what would you say?
Well, I think that this is best told by our observation of the joy in which these children come to school. Their eagerness to learn is very apparent in comparison to former years and in comparison to actual children who have not had the experience right now.
I'm interested that as director of curriculum, you're talking far more about attitudes than you are about specific learnings.
Yes, I certainly am, and I think we in curriculum are very aware of the importance of looking at children and looking at the experiences they have in building curriculum so that to meet the evident needs.
As we're talking, I've asked Mrs. Duarte to step over this way to leave her children in their obviously self-sustaining activities. Mrs. Duarte, we wanted to thank you and congratulate you, and also to ask you a question or two, may we?
Sure.
I was just asking Mrs. Hittinger what she felt, and maybe you'll answer the same question. What would you say now are your impressions of the usefulness of a short, intensive summer program? Does it make a difference in the fall?
Oh, yes, it makes a big difference. I remember about 2 or 3 years ago, I had to chase the children to bring them into school. And sometimes we had to lock the gates. I remember Mrs. Hittinger had to help me to pull the children out from the fences. And right now, they were frightened. They were scared to death. And here we were more jailers than teachers. I mean, we have to keep the doors locked, the gates locked, and having the nurses, the principal, and everybody helping us to keep the children inside the building. Now I don't have any trouble at all. They come happily back to school, and they are like veterans, and they love it. There's a big change in their attitude to our school. Excuse me, we're going to stop the working activity now and start cleaning up, putting things away.
All right, perhaps we can continue. What's the next phase of the program?
It will be, after cleaning, they will be drinking milk, and then we'll go and play outside.
All right, well then perhaps we'll rejoin you after the group has gone outdoors and continue this conversation. Thank you.
Oh, I didn't. We were supposed to clean up.
California weather provides us with the opportunity for work out of doors as much as indoors.
All year round.
All year round.
Perhaps we can get Mrs. Duarte now to come back and continue our discussion.
Fine.
Would you ask her to join us?
Mrs. Duarte, we were talking before about how this program has helped and changed these youngsters, and I feel that it has changed all of us who have been involved and working with it.
Well, I feel that I feel closer to the children now. I think that I understand them better now than I used to about, well, let's say 5 years ago. And, well, talking with their families, talking to their parents, I feel closer to the children, and I think I understand them more now. Talking to the parents and visiting them several times, I see the problems that they have at home. There are so many children in their house, and they have the few opportunities to play with toys, to talk, to hear, to be having a two-way conversation, let's say, with the parents. Usually they are sent outside to play, and the parents seldom listen or read to the children. And now when we...
And being good means being quiet.
Yes, being good means being quiet or getting out of the sight, out of the way. And after talking to the parents and explaining, and when they come and visit the room, they see how the children are, how important the children are to us, and how what individuals they are, and how nice, how well they work when they are here.
We in our district have been very fortunate through the understanding and interest and cooperation of the Board of Trustees to anticipate next year that each kindergarten teacher in this school will have just one class instead of the two that is now the standard procedure.
The children will have a morning and afternoon program.
A small class makes a big difference. You know, the teacher gets to know the children better and to help them more too.
And this gives you time for looking at the individual, because these children cannot be categorized into one kind of child, can they?
No, each child is an individual, and we had to go to them in that way. I mean, each one has different needs, and each one has value too. So we had to approach the child in this way.
Your concern and appreciation and support for each child is very evident as you work with these youngsters. But it's quite difficult when you deal with 60 during one day.
We've left Mrs. Duarte's class now, and we're in Mrs. Hod's first grade. We've come here because this group is the group that first took part in the summer program in 1963. Is that right?
That's correct. And these children have also had the benefit of a summer program in 1964 between kindergarten and first grade.
So these children, instead of finishing a first grade year now with the kindergarten year behind them, have also had 2 5-week summer sessions.
Oh, these children, Mrs. Hyde, who has also taught in this school for many years, feels that these children are the most eager and anxious to learn children she has ever had in this school. They wait for her early in the morning before she arrives. They're at the door. You can see by the kinds of experiences they're having within the classroom that the same type of program is being carried on at a higher level, as was true.
What do you mean by the same type?
The real concern for the individual, the concrete experience, the opportunity to work with different kinds of materials,
and variety of activities going on.
Great variety of activities, and for self-expression and opportunity to work together, to communicate with oral language in a relaxed atmosphere.
We're very grateful to you, Mrs. Hittinger, for having made this visit possible and having made it so interesting, and I hope you'll extend our congratulations and thanks to everyone who shares with you the responsibility and the pleasure of making this program go.
It has been a pleasure. Thank you very much. These children and their families are changing their outlook on education, and that is our hope for their future.